Let me tell you what destroys more empaths than anything else. It's not the narcissist, it's not the relationship, it is not even the abuse. It is empathy without boundaries, the endless pouring out, the constant quieting of your own needs, the trade of your peace for their comfort, and the belief that love means disappearing into somebody else's chaos. You think your empathy is a gift? Wrong. Not until you master it. It's the very thing that's going to destroy you. It's why you got used, burned, and mistreated. It's why you've poured yourself out like love was something you had to earn by vanishing into somebody else's demands. Empathy without boundaries is not love. It is self-abandonment. And that is why every empath has two awakenings, the one that breaks you and the one that makes you untouchable. I'm Megan Webster, an abuse recovery coach, a trauma-informed strategist, and the woman a narcissist hopes to never meet twice. This is the Narcissist Worst Nightmare podcast, where survival ends, shadow becomes power, and you step into your dark empath identity that makes you magnetic, untouchable, and incapable of ever settling again. The first awakening is empathy without boundaries. It is brutal. It's when your empathy is wide open, bleeding out everywhere, and you don't even realize that it's costing you your life. You believe being selfless makes you worthy. You become the fixer, the caretaker, the emotional dumping ground. You get high off of saving people who are never going to save you. You confuse your role in someone else's chaos with your value as a human being. And you keep telling yourself, if I just hold it all together, maybe they will finally love me. Maybe they might just stay. And here is your savage truth. The world will eat that version of you alive. Narcissists will see you as a supply. Users see you as free labor. Energy vampires see you as an all-you-can-eat buffet. And the sickest part is that you keep handing them the keys because somewhere deep down, you believe that disappearing into their needs is the only way to keep them from disappearing on you. You pour yourself out like it's survival, like love is something you earn by bleeding yourself dry. You've traded your peace for their comfort. Your silence is your truth so nobody can walk out. You abandon yourself because you think abandonment from them would be much worse. And it does work for a while. Until you wake up one day empty, invisible, and enraged, realizing you built your entire identity on being needed instead of being valued. One of my private clients who was divorced from a narcissist on one of our first calls ever said she felt stupid. And it wasn't even a little bit stupid, it was fucking stupid. She felt stupid for giving so much without limits to someone who weaponized it against her. She felt used and shamed, but she was at the point of being angry. Maybe a little bit with him, but mainly with herself, and just to be clear, anger. The emotion itself is not dangerous. It will become dangerous for your recovery, for your safety, for your mental health. When you let it sit and fester and it becomes a resentment, letting it out is one of the most important parts of the work that I do with my clients, because you require a safe space in order to explore all of those feelings and thoughts that you've shoved down for months, years, decades. And we ripped apart her pattern of endless empathy. It wasn't just her marriage, it was also her friends, her clients, and it dated back to her parents. The first relationship where you learn identity, boundaries, self-respect, all of these things are with parents or parental roles, right? And I'm sure you can relate to this too. You give until there's nothing left, and then you feel that hole in your soul like you weren't enough. But the truth is, you didn't protect yourself, and more importantly, you just didn't know how. But that is the first awakening, the heartbreak of realizing your empathy is being hijacked. And if you stop here and you live your entire life as fuel for everybody else's fire, you will be the one that burns out. The second awakening brings discernment. It's where everything shifts. It is your mirror moment. All of the pieces that you've been holding for everyone else finally get dropped back into your hands. And here's how this feels. It is heavy at first. Like you're standing in front of yourself for the very first time, holding the absolute weight of your own life again. It's disorienting, almost violent, because for years, you have been trained to carry everybody else's needs and neglect your own. Your mirror moment feels like grief and liberation at the same time. Grief for all of the years that you abandoned yourself, and liberation because you can finally see the woman you were always meant to be. You stop loving as self-abandonment and you start loving as self-respect. No becomes holy and a full sentence and proof that you are finally awake. You're still open-hearted, but now there's a lock on the door. You don't just stop feeling, you stop selling yourself out. You don't stop caring, you stop being consumed. And this is where discernment is born. It's empathy with a blade. It's like X-ray vision, the ability to look straight through the smile, the apology, the I promise I'll change, and see what the motive is underneath. It's not just a gut feeling. It's a body response. It's the way that your chest tightens when somebody lies and you know it instantly. It's the way your stomach flips when words do not match actions. And it's the quiet voice that says, this isn't really safe, and you actually listen to it this time. When your empathy was hijacked, you felt everything and assumed it was your job to fix it. That's why you overgave, over-apologized, and overstayed. When your empathy is reclaimed, you still feel everything, but you know exactly what belongs to you and what doesn't. You let people sit with their own chaos. You let others carry what's theirs instead of bleeding yourself out to make them comfortable. And that one single shift makes you impossible to fuck with. Because discernment is clarity. Clarity is power. And once you start seeing this, you cannot unsee it. Once you know, that's the line. You stand rooted in the knowing. No narcissist, no manipulator, no half-assed apology can ever drag you back into blindness again. So how do you use discernment in your life? It's not just knowing better to live different. Boundaries start becoming automatic. You stop defending yourself like it's a courtroom argument. You say no because it's yours to say, and you don't need approval to stand on that. And here's the thing. The first time you do it is going to feel terrifying. You might feel physically ill, body shakes, voice trembles, and you will second guess yourself. But the more you do it, the more your nervous system rewires to see that your no is safety instead of danger. Boundaries stop being something you agonize over, and they start being instinctual. You don't even need to think about it. Your body just knows this is my space to protect. Your intuition will become your compass. You stop gaslighting yourself with what if I'm wrong? Instead, you ask yourself, what if I'm right? And you act like your instincts are law because they are. Discernment means trusting your body over somebody else's word. It means walking into a room, feeling that energy's off and leaving without convincing yourself to just try and stay. It's hearing someone's apology and knowing if it's real or just another manipulation cycle. It's not paranoia. It's pattern recognition sharpened by your own experience. And your intuition is no longer a whisper to be ignored. It is the compass that sets your entire direction. And one of my personal favorite ones, standards become non-negotiable. You do not let red flags slide because you're lonely. You don't dim your light for someone else because it's bigger. You don't perform for crumbs, and you hold the line because the line is yours to hold. Standards stop being a list that you write down in your cute little journal, and they start being the air that you breathe. It's not about perfection or impossible expectations. It's knowing the cost of settling because you have lived it. Your discernment will not even allow you to have a fake interest in someone who cannot meet you where you are. You stop chasing validation, you stop negotiating with mediocrity, and you become allergic to less. That is the leverage of discernment. It is not passive, it is not theoretical, it is lived moment by moment, decision by decision, boundary by boundary. And here's your holy fuck truth. Once discernment takes over, your entire life is going to shift. Relationships, friendships, business, money, everything is going to recalibrate for you because you no longer move from desperation or self-abandonment. You move with crystal clear precision. And that is something that narcissists, manipulators, and chaos cannot survive. But here's where it gets magnetic. Magnetism isn't about being pretty or perfect. It's about being so rooted in the truth that people feel it before you say a word. When empathy is hijacked, your magnetism leaks everywhere. You attract takers, manipulators, and narcissists because your energy broadcasts, I'll hand myself over to you if you stay. That kind of magnetism is desperate. It's frantic. It's survival driven. It pulls in anyone who can smell your need, and abusers are bloodhounds for that. But when your empathy is disciplined through discernment, your magnetism is dangerous to the wrong people and irresistible to the right, because now your energy broadcasts, I I know my worth and I'm not bending for anybody. And the second that frequency shifts for you, so does what you're attracting. It's an actual force. It becomes untouchable, and it says it without words. If you want access to me, rise to meet me, because I am no longer coming down to meet you. Magnetism isn't just an energy that people feel, it's how you live your life. It's the way you hold yourself in a room without shrinking. It's the way you can look someone in the eye and let silence do the work because you are not scrambling to prove yourself. It's the way you walk out without a word, without a fight, because your absence is louder than begging somebody to stay. That's what makes you magnetic. It's not a mask. It's not a performance. It is not being palatable, but the audacity to be exactly who you are with zero apologies made. I'm going to share something with you that makes me sound cocky as fuck, but it's my truth. Anyone I have ever been involved with romantically that I have walked away from, narcissist or not, apologizes, tells me they've never found somebody like me, and they will then share memories from our time together. To be very clear, I do not start conversations with these people. I do not hold the door open, and I do not give maybe one day we can reconnect vibes. When I am done, I am done. I hold that standard. This past week alone, I had 12 different men reach out to me to reconnect, resolve, apologize, and see if there was open space. Someone that I dated over 12 years ago is the one that stuck out most in my mind because they shared the lessons that they learned from me on how to treat women. They shared they never got over me, that I was the last person they fully loved. And I thank them, close the conversation, because I am with someone and I respect my relationship and myself first. I treat others how I want to be treated, but I hold that standard. I don't let my empathy get involved without the boundary of a closed door. But this is what magnetism looks like in my life. A decade later, someone saying, hey, remember this. They remember my energy, my heart, my love. And I said this to many people when we do break up. You will recall this for the rest of your life. And you will look for me in everyone that you meet because I am rare. And I'm sure that you are too. Which is why this is the dark empath's advantage. What once made you prey is now the thing that makes you predator proof. What once got hijacked is now your greatest weapon, your sharpest clarity, and your untouchable source of major attraction. If this episode cracked something open in you good, that means you're not just healing, you're evolving. Share this episode with somebody that needs it. Hit follow so you never miss the next one. Send me a D on Instagram and tell me what landed for you. And when you're ready to go deeper, join me inside of the Black Cat Academy. This is for the woman that has moved through abuse. She is done playing small. She wants to reclaim her shadow, become magnetic, untouchable, and incapable of ever settling again. This is the Narcissist Worst Nightmare podcast. And remember, you are not just hard to break, you are impossible to replace.